plans about a possible merger. We will be discussing stuff that happened in the past and stuff looking forward to the future. Everybody can tune in on the meeting during real time via the use of the GP Meeting, CMP and GP Meeting text channel. You can ask questions or give input during the conversations. I need to again remind everybody, CMP rules are still in effect. Everybody who potentially breaks any of our rules will get an immediate flag and an immediate ban from the meeting. I hope I'm clear on that part. And now I will be giving the word to Squiddy here. She can start the meeting.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Squiddy. I am the Warlord of Celestial Gladiators clan and the founder and leader of Gilded Phoenix Alliance. I have brought with me Blue, who I'm sure a lot of you know, and Paradox, who is on mute. Para, do you want to say hi?
Hello.
This is Para. I have heard that there's quite a few questions that want to be asked of us first. And to sort of clarify, we have 3 leaders here who will hopefully be doing most of the talking. We also have Neo Darksider and Evangelite with us, if they want to say hi.
Yo.
No? They're not really intending to answer the questions,
Hello?
but they are 2 of the founders of the Alliance, and yeah, hopefully they can sort of give some support, give some positive vibes, do all that. Someone left. Apparently positive vibes aren't needed. So why don't we start with some questions that people had? From Crescent Moon to us.
Just to let everyone know, if you cannot use your microphone, please put the questions in the chat.
Just before a few questions pop out, again, I just want to mention Skits is asleep. If you have any questions for Skits in any way, shape, or form, he is in the Discord. Hopefully Crusader can ping him at the end of the meeting, just so you guys can message them. He will answer when he wakes up. So if you give him 1 or 100, he will respond. Yeah.
Poor
Right.
And
so...
Sorry, Squiddy. I did also want to mention a bunch of the Ice/Obsidian clans. A lot of the guys were curious about popping over, but we didn't want to do it as we didn't want to bring them. The reasoning that we didn't want to bring them over is we didn't want to remind them of a fractured family. If on the off chance stars don't align and we don't come out with bringing the community back together. But they are hoping. So, hello, Disaster.
Hello.
So yes, each and every one of those the clans over in Obsidian are rooting for this conversation.
Okay, well,
all right.
The first question that was brought, so since nobody is asking anything in the text channel, I don't know if the permissions should be fine. If you guys want to type but you can't, there's a pinned message saying you need to make the bot add your permissions for the channel. So the message is pinned. You have to type the command in bot spam, and you will be able to type inside the text channel. So I will be doing the first question. Basically, well, you did mention, I know this from our conversation, but Crescent Moon members are interested in what brought up the talk about merger. Why do you want to merge with the Crescent Moon clans?
Well, I can't say that I know you guys. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I know Crescent Moon, I know Crescent Moon. Like, I like to think that you guys, like, can accept my existence, and I am more than happy to meet you guys. But Blue's told me a lot of wonderful things about CMP. I know a lot of wonderful things. I actually once considered joining CMP before I decided to make my own clan. It's like been a long time respect for CMP, and I've just never really spoken to you guys. There's someone left. Okay, I'm sorry for whoever that offended. I've also heard a lot from the Obsidian clans that they felt like a piece of their family was missing, and that a big piece of the original ice puzzle was missing, which is CMP. And when Blue brought up the idea of we could possibly talk to them, I was all for it, because I think from both sides it would be a bit of a like coming home and coming back together. And I know from my own experiences when I have sort of had a bit of a look and thought about joining CMP, and from conversations I've had with Kato, with Crusader, with Gamer, you guys are all really nice and really wonderful people. I really enjoyed talking to them, especially Gamer, because we're Adelaide bros and we apparently have a lot in common. And I was also really excited to see that Crusader actually took part in one of the events that we had in Gilded Phoenix recently. One of the non-competitive ones. It was just a silly haiku one. But I thought this was really, really awesome and really sweet. And, you know, if the olive branch is there and if we can work from it, I would absolutely love to bring you guys into the family and bring the original ice clans back together, bring new family together, make new friends, and have more fun. It's kind of weird to sit here and be like, oh, I once thought about joining your clan, but it's the truth. CMP is one of the clans that I've always, always, always respected. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was really nervous to come in here. But I think if there was to be anything that would help extend family and help extend bonds, I would be all for it. I think that would be absolutely incredible, and it would help both of the communities. Crusader, the results of that contest, the haiku contest we had, went up yesterday in announcements. One of the haikus that won was just Clem, so I was a little bit low-key disappointed. The votes, we actually decided the winners of our haiku contest through votes, and I was low-key a bit worried when one of the haikus was just Clem, 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 Clem. But yeah, that was a pretty fun event, and I was really happy that Crusader came along to it. You know, I'd love to have you guys come and have our events with us. Is there anything about what I just said?
Like questions?
Yep. Any
So-
questions about my answer to the question?
My question is basically you just want us to just to bring everyone together to have just what are the words? Just to bring everyone together, right? In a friendly manner.
Yep.
Okay.
We all know that dark sectors are, if they keep the state that they're currently looking at dark sectors for, it's not going to be a competitive aspect, but I do think that having the original family back together, having all the new family that Gilded Phoenix has brought, I think it would be awesome.
Okay.
Crusader? Oh, actually, is it okay if I copy-paste the haiku winners in here, Crusader? Just so you can see?
No, Blue will put the announcement.
I fixed it.
I'll check it there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just fixed it. You should be able to see it now, Crusader.
Also, Crusader, what do you have any input on this?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, and everybody in the Crescent Moon is still on the edge because of all the drama that happened in Ice. And this is more to Squiddy than to Blue, but can we how can I convince my prime members, my old members, my officers, my generals that there will be no future drama involving the breaking or, virtual backstabbing or any such actions that could be looked upon that way. Because if you know, when the ice break happened, I already explained why Blue had done what he did, and you all were able to see the documents from both Blue, both the Porsche and both my personal input on the whole thing. So we won't be discussing that part, but
Hi, Black.
hi, I will be discussing the. I will be asking that what can be our kind of guarantee that stuff like that will not happen when the DA decides to release dark sectors again, because again, CMP is primarily competitive clan, and we do plan to be on the competitive scene when the dark sectors release.
Yep. I think Blue really wanted to answer this one, so Blue,
For
you wanna
Euro.
take the reins?
We-
Because sorry, but I don't want to make assumptions about ice. I wasn't in it, so I feel like it's not my place to discuss it, but I can talk about the future, so I'll let Blue handle the past bit.
Yeah.
I've always been curious about what happened. I've heard bits and pieces, but I'm not entirely exactly sure exactly what happened in the past, so I would like to hear this too.
Well, as Crusader mentioned, he doesn't want us to get too much into it, and it's completely understandable. There's no sense in opening old wounds. Although I did rehash some earlier with only a gamer. He's more than welcome to speak on anything I'm about to say. I'll be very short and sweet on it, Crusader, if it's okay with you. I'll be 1 minute.
Yes.
Thank you. The decisions and the way things ended up with the way things went, simply put, there was a difference in the direction and leadership of the ICE. And my job, and my only job that I've ever had in ICE, was to act on behalf of Skits and do what I felt was best on behalf of each of the clans and try to repair our name. That was my job as an ICE leader. I wasn't one of Porsche's rank ups. I wasn't an ICE leader through Porsche. I was an equal. We both had equal power across the board. And in the end, we both had a difference. We spent much time. It wasn't a spur of the moment or random decision. It was a months on months, dating back easily to November of 2016, of us trying to figure out those differences. And over time, it didn't work. That's not a my problem thing. That's not Ike's fault. That's not Crosses or Aces or Harry's or Onyx's. It's not Porsche's. It's not Skitz's. It's just a difference of opinion and direction. And in the end, we were left with 2 active leaders in ICE. It was me and Porsche. It's pretty undisputed on that. But we couldn't find a way to meet in the middle on some things. His zone of comfort was much different than mine, and his belief in the direction was much different. So I decided to pull out. I know that you guys were quite hurt for that, and I do apologize. I truly do. Honestly, I never really wanted to look back. It wasn't something that I enjoyed doing. Towards the
I can
end,
confirm he's broken into tears in chat with me over this. he's being sincere when he says this.
He wasn't entirely inactive. He was always around. Anytime I needed Porsche, he would always pick up a call. Except in the last week, he didn't want to talk to me at all. But outside of that, no, he was always around Bitter. Yeah. But again, in the end, it came down to a difference of direction, and I couldn't meet in the middle even remotely. There were other issues and things as well. But just, again, easily put, it was just a difference of direction. And again, I do feel terrible that CMP was affected in any way. I would like to remind, and at least maybe even remind myself, not just that, Crusader. There was many other things, but that is one of 4 different factors. And again, only a gamer seen video screen share of those 4 things. He's more than welcome to say there's more than one. But again, it's not a Porsche thing. It's not a me thing. It's just a difference. It's a difference of our own comfortability of leading, and it was a difference of direction. My promise to Skits to this day is still the same as it always has been, to take care of the community. And I do feel terrible that I wasn't able to take care of CMP. And for those of you, Prime members and all, that do know, dating back into Team...
Stop apologizing.
No. But dating back into TeamSpeak, I did an awful lot with CMP. And again, the way it ended sucked. For me, for you guys, for everybody. It was unfortunate. But yeah, to answer the question though, I have no intentions of doing that. I'm not a leader, and I think Dark Sectors, when it comes back and it's alliance based, we're gonna do some amazing things. There's no intentions of anything bad here. Our leadership is 100% on point. We're all in harmony with all of the decisions we make. The differences between our 2 alliances from ICE to GP is much different. The warlords have a say, the warlords have a vote, the members all have an also vote, and everybody votes on the direction. It's a direction that everyone is comfortable with, and it's not a question of morally gray areas. I'll pass it back to you, Squiddy.
Alright. Yeah.
Just gonna say before you do that, I think in adding to the whole note of the past of what's happened, a lot of the past between ICE and the leaders of that was very secretive and no information was spread around. I think probably the biggest issue was everyone was very confused, no one knew what was happening, no one knew the truth, or it was what people wanted others to believe. If the merge, does continue or happens, something that probably should or definitely needs to happen is more transparency.
If I can.
Okay, I will be adding on that. I already mentioned to both Blue and Squiddy, but even if we do join, my way of running CMP and Disaster and Kato both agree on this, is that we're no longer secretive and everything eventually goes back to the clan. So the whole alliance is informed of any decisions, any ongoing dispute. Just like this meeting, nothing is a secret. There will be no more talks only between alliance leaders. There will be we are fully open towards the whole clan, because among the 100 members, one is not always right, and our decisions still affect every member of the alliance. So in the future, even if we join Gilded Phoenix, any and all discussions that go in the Gilded Phoenix, if you want to keep it private to the other Gilded Phoenix alliances, the Crescent Moon Alliance will keep the rights to publicly Disaster, can you close your mic?
Okay, so what Black's trying to say is we want members to have
you're breaking up.
Disaster, just let Black do it.
Disaster. You could probably have to type.
Yeah, your mic is really broken. I'm sorry. So
That was terrible.
Yeah. Again.
I'm using it anyway.
So, Black, as you were trying to say.
Yeah, as I was trying to say, all the information we discuss first between warlords. Yes, we discuss them first between warlords. Then we spread it out to the offices, and then we spread it out to the entire clan. The only stuff that doesn't go in public is the moderation staff, because there's a lot of shit going there and not everybody needs to know it or care about it. So, but as long as it's about a decision of the clan or ideas or contest or anything, we always discuss openly.
Yeah. If I can have some story time, there is a lot that I 150% agree with there. In fact, all of it I 150% agree with. And if I'm allowed to have story time, are there any oppositions to story time with Squiddy? No? Okay, awesome. So the reason I'm so heavy on transparency, and Blue can vouch, I've sat there and told the warlords like everything I've been thinking about the Alliance before. Some of you will know that I was previously a leader in V, and I was the other side of this. I was the one being kept in the dark with no transparency, and there were some issues. And I know this was a question that you guys wanted to bring up, so if I can answer that, and two birds with one stone. I originally wasn't meant to be a V leader. I was only ever meant to be an admin. But when Blue was ranked up in V, he saw that I was trying to welcome ICE into the V Alliance, that I was making an effort to make Alliance versus Alliance events and bring the communities together. And he suggested to Mari that I got to work with him and Ike and Mari as a team. And this was pretty cool. Mari was all for this when she sort of saw what Blue saw and went, yeah, I think she could have potential and she could be a good leader. After that, I was scapegoated into being a meat shield for Mari's choices on some things, and I was forced to make an announcement that a certain clan was being kicked from V. I was told that if I didn't post the announcement, I'd be failing as a leader and that I would be, I'd be the terrible leader. I'd be the one who's doing wrong here. And I did it anyway because I thought I was doing right by the alliance I was leading. The clan in question harassed me for days. There was a full channel in their clan Discord dedicated to making fun of me. They had pictures of me, they had my Facebook, all of this. It was insane. It was terrible. I went to Mari upset about it because this clan had been my friends before I kicked them. And she told me that I needed to be more like her, that she was an unbreakable rock. This was about a week before my birthday. For my birthday, my clanmates had a birthday party for me. It was awesome. It was absolutely wonderful. They put together an 11-page card. Mari was invited to the birthday party, but she didn't come. And later on, she used this against me and said I didn't deserve to have a party or a card from my own clan. And she said that I was a pathetic leader, a pathetic warlord, and she threw a lot of insults at my clan. Some of them were that I didn't deserve leadership, that I was stealing Blue's time from her, and that I was making no effort to include her in things, which is false because she was actually raiding with my clan at the time. And for her to sit there and be raiding with my clan and then turn around and go, you aren't including me, that hurt. That was a blindside. After all of these issues, after everything sort of cooled down for my birthday, I found out that I'd been kept in the dark the entire time. The absolute entire time. Mari had been keeping me out of leadership choices, keeping me out of meetings, saying I couldn't be trusted, and, telling me to make negative announcements, telling me to, you have to go tell this clan the bad news, you have to do this. But she never thought of me as an equal. She never had that transparency with me. That was the final straw for me. That's why I decided to leave V. take my clans and create Gilded Phoenix. And after hearing that, that's why the former Ice clans came with us, because they chose to follow what they heard and follow the person who tried their hardest for them. I've been the one on the other side of the lack of transparency, lack of honesty, all of that. It's shit. I'm just going to say that. It's absolutely terrible. I hated it. I felt like crap for like a fortnight afterwards. You know, thought about quitting Warframe, still getting harassed, all of this, and all because there was no communication, there was no transparency there. And so Blue can vouch for this. My first words when we decided to make our new alliance was that there would always be some, in any way, shape or form, a vote, a meeting, something, so that there was always that honesty and openness. You can probably hear me getting like choked up. I don't like talking about it. It was pretty dark, and all of it was because there was no communication. So trust me, I know exactly how you guys feel about being blindsided and lack of communication and feeling like you're in the dark. And nobody deserves that. Absolutely nobody. So what we've done in Gilded Phoenix is there is always information goes to Warlords first. You know, we vote on basically everything that happens in the Alliance. Even the emblems were voted in by members. All decisions we make are voted in by members. The direction that we'll take in the future, you know, if we get a curveball thrown with dark sectors, again, we'll have a vote. I'm not the person to sit here and try and hide stuff anyway. Anyone from CG can confirm that. I will basically tell everyone as much as I can without causing issues. I am very, very open and very honest to everybody. But it's also one of those things that I think you sort of need to have as a human being. And that's, in my opinion, that isn't like a basis for an alliance. That's a basis for being a decent like person. And honestly, I think I've learnt from the mistakes of other alliances where I've seen them fail. My clan once was kicked from an alliance for lack of transparency. Something was happening, we didn't know about it. We got confused because we were being left out without being told anything. And we got kicked for not knowing when we were never told. There was no Warlord meeting, there was no alliance meeting. And yeah, I think I've sort of learnt from the negatives that I've seen how to avoid that and how to make sure everyone gets their say.
Thank you for the story. I will just want to...
I'm glad you enjoyed story time.
I enjoyed story time.
I'll just add to your story. Some things that you mentioned in your story, like harassment and stuff similar to it, we actually had that in CMP from other members harassing another members. But just to clarify, it is completely from the CMP side. You're welcome to read our rules, and I think every CMP member can confirm I will be the first one to ban a member for breaking rules.
Yeah.
So we don't just put those rules there for show. And frankly, even the rank cannot save you from the rules. We other officers can confirm. We had a person in the officers. He was actually cleared to becoming a general in CMP, and in the end he got kicked because we found out he was power hungry. So nobody is exempt from CMP rules. Not officers, not clan staff, not prime members, not old members, not new members, nobody.
Does that include you?
So from the sides of CMP, I found the rules on your Discord much more lenient than ours are. So we will be releasing the leash on the CMP rules during their stay on Discord. But again, because of the clan management, we will be keeping our own CMP Discord, in which the rules will be in full effect. And again, I have to remind, these rules that are in full effect in CMP, if somebody outside of CMP comes back to CMP complaining, oh, your member was like this in the squad chat, in anywhere else in the game, the CMP rules are in effect. Every member of CMP knows this. They know they must behave at all times because basically our members are the face of Crescent Moon. So from the side of Crescent Moon, you can rest assured that such things will not happen. And even if they do happen, they will be short-lived.
Yeah, and I can really, really appreciate that. Something that some of you might not know about me, I actually run 2 Moon clans and a competitive Storm clan. And what Crusaders just said about, the members are the face of the clan, that's entirely how I run my clans as well. That's just like absolutely perfect synergy there. The rules in Gilded Phoenix server are more lax, and they can honestly be boiled down to don't be a dick. Have respect for other people, be polite, listen to the moderators, listen to the admins. Only give yourself not safe for work tag if you're over 18 years of age. It's all pretty self-explanatory and pretty simple. And I'd like to think that there's not really an issue in following them. I'm not the kind of person who likes to sit here and be like, oh, every little thing needs to be dictated, because honestly, I hate it. There is an age restriction on not safe for work because that's actually Discord rules. Is the members under 18, even if you have the not safe for work channel marked, if an under 18 member is proven to be on the channel, the server can get in trouble. So we do actively enforce that. I like to think that people aren't going to take advantage of that, but it is dealt with very, very quickly when we do find out anything interesting. I'm used to giving spankings to young people.
That's an interesting thing about the age requirement. We don't have an age requirement, but again, here, this is a perfect example of what Squiddy said, because I also had a lot of members saying, oh, why don't we have NSFW channels or NSFW ability post or whatever. This is the exact reason. Discord is very strict on these rules. That's why these rules are also transferred over to CMP rules.
I'd also like to say we're in a Warframe clan. It's not. We're also in a Warframe clan. You shouldn't really be here for pornographic material or anything like that. That's not safe for work. I'm sure you might have other servers for it, but not here. It's a gaming community.
That's entirely what I thought about it. I was against the idea. Someone put in our suggestion channel a not safe for work. And I was like, I really don't want this, but I guess, we should have a vote. It was, correct me if I'm wrong, Blue, 500 to 10 in favour.
Yeah, it was
something
heavy.
Like that.
It was heavy.
So we made it entirely opt-in that if you don't want to see it, you don't see it. If you do want to see it, you have to opt in and self-sign a role. And, that keeps it out of the faces of everybody else. And that's, great, because I don't have to look at it. Yep, 500 to 10 in favour of not safe for work. Turns out people like seeing that, It's okay, I guess. Just, I wouldn't, personally, I don't think it has its place. But if people really want that, And if that's what the community wants, then I'm not going to deny it. I'm just going to make it, you don't see it at all whatsoever in the server unless you've got the role for it. And from the members who do have the role, we do go through and, check with warlords, ask about ages, make sure that, we're not breaking any rules. It's something that people wanted. And again, I'm more than happy to have votes on things, even if I don't agree with them personally. But yeah, that's the policy on it. It was something that was really heavily requested, so made it completely opt-in. It doesn't exist unless you're looking for it. It's the best compromise that we can come up with. After a 500 to 10 vote, we can't really turn around and be like, no, not safe for work. So that's our compromise on it. It's all there, and they have channels, and it's all sorted. That's like the funniest part about it. If you've ever wanted sorted, not safe for work, it's a self-assignable role. Thank you, Schizo.
Well, it's funny that you said you had like it's basically a repetition. Whenever managing a clan which is following rules of Discord, Warframe, etc., we also have an offensive meme channel. People in clan were going ballistic over their dark memes and dark humor and whatever. So in CMP, you also have a place that's actually marked as NSFW, and there's a warning when entering that channel that the whole channel is exempt from rules of offensiveness, being a dick, being an idiot, and everything else that follows. The only rules that apply to that channel are still no nudity and no gore. Everything else is fine. You have a lot of Nazi memes, you have a lot of racist memes, racist jokes, nationalistic jokes, and whatever. But members are clear on the point that if you enter that channel, you are not to be offended because it's an offensive channel.
Yeah, that's sort of my view on the not safe for work stuff as well. Like, if you want to see that, if you sign up for it, that's on you. We did have a separate channel for offensive memes, and it was actually voted out. I guess everyone just sort of doesn't mind. If there was a complaint, we would hold another vote to put it back in. But, they voted to merge the, mildly, carefully offensive meme channel into the general channel. Again, something, if there were complaints, we can easily vote and go back on it. I'm more than happy to work with whatever people vote on and what people want. Yeah. We also have completely opt-in not Warframe games, and on top of the not safe for work, that's all self-assignable roles, so people can join and leave as they want, which means we don't have to, take care of that. I'm getting distracted by all these people complimenting my voice.
One of the perks of being in Gilded Phoenix is you get to listen to Squiddy.
Yeah, we have once a month meetings that are like 2 hours long, and you get to hear me ramble about everything that's happened in the past month.
I don't know why that was so
crisp.
crisp.
Sound like a commercial voice.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing. It was so crisp, it sounded like a commercial. I generally thought, oh wait, did someone just start playing a commercial?
I actually thought it's a soundboard, but never mind.
Yeah, I was going on my browser to see if it was an advertisement. And I heard Squiddy's name, and I'm like, oh, it's here.
Even just as a built-in troll.
Well, I mean, I do have a quite an expensive microphone, so I hope I sound good.
Professional microphone.
Anyway, are there any questions that are left unanswered?
Kinnison had one.
I was gonna say, Seth
Kinnison, can you repeat? Here, there we go.
Alright, what guarantees are there that CMP will not get kicked out of Gilded Phoenix? Who has the ability to do this in Gilded Phoenix? Okie dokie. So, guarantee that CMP won't get kicked out of Gilded Phoenix. There are basically two reasons that people would get kicked from the Alliance. One of which is inactivity, not hearing anything from the clan warlords for 2 months. We have a monthly roll call, which is really simply put, just, screenshot the top, third of your clan page, just to make sure that, the clan's not dying. There's not, 3 people in a moon clan. Although CMP is never going to have that problem, so...
Yeah.
And so inactivity, basically never going to happen. And the other reason that anyone would get kicked out of Gilded Phoenix is breaking the rules. But again, the rules boil down to be a decent human being, don't be a dick. CMP's rules are much, much, much harsher than Gilded Phoenix's, no offense. And I honestly don't think anyone in here would have an issue following them. As long as you're not going around flaming people, starting wars, insulting people for no reason, all of that. If you can respect people's boundaries and being like, hey, this was a joke, you've asked me to stop, I'll stop, then there won't be an issue.
Frankly, if that happens...
Sorry.
Frankly, if before you break the Gilded Phoenix rules, you're more than likely to break the CMP rules. So...
Again, if you're a decent person, if you don't scam other members, if you don't cause fights, if you don't go around insulting people, there won't be an issue.
I'm gonna link the Gilded Phoenix rank structure. It's basically an answer to the second half of your question, Kinnison, of what are the plans of succession due to, heaven forbid, Squiddy's inactivity. As we thought of that way early on, as when we started, we looked at all the different alliances that we've been a part of throughout our entire community's history, and we worked on fixes for every single one of the issues that have ever happened. So we came up with this.
And I will answer Rava's questions. Our rules are almost in synergy, but CMP rules come in front of Gilded Phoenix rules. Simply just because we're much stricter on our rules.
Yeah. You would break CMP rules before you'd break Gilded Phoenix rules. So I don't think you would be crossing a line.
And no, see, CMP rules aren't harsh. It's basically the same thing, don't be a dick and you'll be fine. Really, that's simple as that.
Just with a little bit more detail.
Yeah. Not only a lot of more detail, but only a gamer, you know yourself, we harshly enforce our rules. You remember for people posting a slight racist comments like yo nigga or anything like such, you can actually get a warning in CMP for such a word.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, I just broke a rule for CMP. For Gilded Phoenix, I don't think it's that harsh.
No. In Gilded, it depends on the context, If I'm going up to Blue and I'm like, Kachiba my nibber, then it's one thing.
I knew this would happen. Okay.
Just making an example,
Crusader,
people.
And I'm like, Crusader, you are the blackest nibber I have ever met, and I mean it in a bad way. Then I don't even think you're black, but you get my point.
You can see my profile picture, so...
Yeah, the point is, if it depends on the context. If you're saying it as a joke to a friend, we're not going to sit here and be like, hey, you just broke a rule for making a joke with a friend. But if you're sitting there using it to insult...
Even if it's a joke between friends, it can warrant a warning.
Yeah. And that's the difference, is that we are a bit more lax on stuff like that. It's... I guess you could say the rules are more Australian, for lack of a better explanation. You know, if you're insulting a friend as a joke, then it's completely different to saying it with like intent to upset someone.
Basically, like how
For lack of a
Australians,
better,
basically us Australians, we call our mates cunts and cunts mates.
yeah, you get what I'm saying, gamer. See, we're on the same wavelength here. You get my point.
Blue, do you want to answer that question, or
Yeah, Blue.
why did you requote?
Oh, well, some people wanted Shave's question to be answered, and it is a good question. So, so the question is: in the event of uniting the alliances, how will the distribution of power function? So the way all of our rosters work is we do have a mother base in every one. Squiddy's the only person in all of them. And the way that it goes is the clans that have a trustworthy leadership and that are proven to be a successful clan, and a clan that is very mature and relaxed and knows how to properly moderate, we always give the powers to make sure that alliance issues are able to be solved by the warlords in those clans. And if they are, we always solve them as best as we can. So there's always more than enough moderators around between the different clans that are in the alliances. On top of that, if it spills into the actual alliance, into the Discord, we have a slew of moderators from every single branch of, well, we use the term branch for our different alliances, as we do have a few alliances at this point. And yeah, so we have a decent amount of staff that's ready to help out if needed. And if not, then the warlords inside that specific alliance are able to help out. And then if someone in one alliance makes a decision that another doesn't agree with, who has the authority to resolve in alliance issues? That final stuff for us is Squiddy and the other founders and the other leaders, and we always work with the people that are having the issues, and we work to come to a decision. We never just make a one end all be all decision. We always make some type of a decision that's either a group decision or meeting in the middle or finding a way to bring home a win for everybody. Anytime, Shave.
Something I was going to bring up as well, and this is something that Cephalon and Kyle kind of brought up. How would this affect our current alliance with our clans like CMA and, like, say, Ceph's his own clan as well? And how how does your branches work as well? Because I know you have multiple like gemstones of branches.
I will answer. Yeah, I'll answer that question. Frankly, as far as in-game is concerned, the things are gonna stay the same because we're gonna stay in the current alliance. The only thing that will change is that in-game wise, we will be taking on the Gilded Phoenix naming. That means after the 7-day vote, if the vote is in the favor of the alliances merging, then we will have another vote where you guys will be able to pick a gemstone for our alliance. That gemstone will transfer to the Gilded Phoenix sister alliance, and we will be called, for example, Moonstone Phoenix or something like that, whatever you guys pick.
Chris, that is right. In game, nothing will change. All CM perms will stay the same. The clans with you will stay the same. The only difference is there'll be a ghost clan at the top of the alliance roster. That is the one that has just me on an alt account in it, and that's just so that I can move, my own clan in and out. Give some credits here, give some credits there. Make sure everything is equal among the branches. A question about the branches.
Just to clarify, so they don't get uneasy. The clan and the account that Squiddy mentioned will not have the same permissions as the CMP clan in our alliance. Again, alliance-wise, it will be the same as before. We will basically be adding up another clan into the alliance, which will be the Squiddies. And of course, we still plan on opening other doors to recruiting other clans, like we did before.
Yeah. Crescent Moon will have all of the perms. The only thing is the Ghost Clan will be the founding clan in the Alliance. So essentially no changes at all whatsoever.
No, that's the part I will not agree on. We will change the name, but CMP is staying as it is in game. It will be staying a founding clan of the Alliance.
Okay, how about we agree to discuss this after? Because this isn't what we... I think there's been a bit of a miscommunication here. Alright,
Blue,
so we'll
if you
discuss this
recall,
after and
we
move
were...
on. Blue?
If you recall, if you recall, we were talking about that in game wise that everything is going to stay the same. So we will be renaming the alliance to Gilded Phoenix, associating with Gilded Phoenix, adding your clans into the Gilded Phoenix sister alliance. But as far as the sister alliances, there is no way for us to allow full control from another alliance, from another clan, or from another account, or anything of that sort.
Yeah,
CMP will, if this merger is to happen, and there is absolutely no talk about it being differently, CMP will still hold, as it is up till now, the full alliance rights of the branch that you will assign us with.
Yeah, so when we spoke earlier, there's definitely a bit of miscommunication. We have had some branches as of late where we've attempted that, and they've ended rather colossally unfortunate. And we did make an agreement with our alliance on our end that we would never go down that road again. But again, we can discuss that part in private afterwards. My assumption from that was that we were going to allow you guys to choose your own gemstone and the own name, and that we would have all powers on for you guys, and you guys would bring in any clans that you wanted, as well as the full power to say which clans you would want inside that alliance with you. That was what I was assuming, but again, it's just a bit of miscommunication. We can.
One thing about that is, maybe you noticed, but we already had full powers in the alliance of Eximus Prime. No, I forgot the name. Fuck me. We had the full power in our previous alliance, where the Porsche was actually the only member of Crescent Moon Vandal, and still, even with all the powers, we found ourselves unable to do some things. We were not able to kick a clan. We were not able to transfer resources. We weren't having actual full permissions. So, in game wise, only the founding clan of an alliance can have full permissions. You cannot set it differently.
Yeah, like we said earlier, I think this topic, if you are even agreeable or the clan is even agreeable to consider joining Gilded Phoenix, is a topic that we can talk about and hash out after the meeting. I think we should take more questions so the members here can understand more about Gilded Phoenix and or our past. Is there any more questions?
I don't believe I have any questions.
Bonk.
The silence was us messaging each other really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did I miss the free refreshments already?
Ah, hello, Skits.
Are all the cupcakes gone?
Hey,
Hey,
it's
Skids.
Skits.
Hey, Skids.
What's up?
I guess
What's
there is a
up?
big thing that I can knock out right here and now, because this is probably one of the bigger things. Blue's involvement with the Alliance and/or clans. Because I'm sure a lot of people will obviously have a bad taste in their mouth, as you could put it. So, Blue, what is your involvement with Gilded Phoenix and the Alliance?
I'll let Squiddy answer that.
This is something we joked about being asked beforehand, and as per my end of the joke, Blue is essentially my bitch in the Alliance. There you go, Paradox. I said it.
Oh yeah.
Don't play with me. Play with your bitch.
Squiddy will show you the way.
I think what they're curious to know, and I'll answer it, is the deeper meaning is they want to know if Blue can go and shoot off the hip wood and do whatever he wants, and the answer to that is no. Blue does have to answer to Squiddy and the other leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, the discussion that Blue and I had about how to answer this question, we essentially sort of came to the conclusion that the dynamic we sort of have is Blue is like a megaphone. You know, if I make a call, Blue is, I'm Mr. Blue. He's in the chat. Blue, say hi.
Hi.
That one. He isn't the one who has the final executive calls. That would be me. Blue does have a say in Alliance stuff, but he doesn't get to make any shots without me knowing about them. So essentially, he is more of a megaphone than a like full-blown dictatorship. And I know that was something that a lot of CMPs were worried about. And that's something that we're more than happy to address right here and now. Again, TLDR is my pitch. Most of the Alliance will jokingly tell you that because we have a really good friendship. Blue transferred from Panzerfaust into one of my clans. Yes, I'm the leader of the Alliance. And he's just a clan member in my clan, which is a really weird dynamic when he's only a clan member but also an Alliance leader. Paradox is also a clan member of mine. As just a funny note, my notes for each of them are low-key bitch and high-key bitch on Discord, which sort of says a lot about, I think, our friendship and the fact that we can joke about stuff like that. It's a good friendship, and there honestly isn't a disconnect between all of the leaders. And yeah, Blue doesn't get to call shots without me. I know some of you are really, really wary of him, and I don't have an issue with that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have the full power that he used to have, and the Alliance is led by a different person. It's in a different direction. It's a lot different to what you guys are used to. I actually cringed when I read the old ICE rules because I was like, this is so strict. It's a different direction. It's a breath of fresh air. And concerns about Blue, I completely understand them, but they're not an issue. They're honestly, it's not the same as it was. And I think everyone from here can confirm that.
To answer the question, what happened with me and Panzer, I decided it was time. So for the longest time, there was it wasn't unspoken. It was a pretty much guaranteed done deal. I was eventually going to switch out of Panzer and move into CMP as a warlord with Porsche, and help over there. Once I was done doing Panzer and the community stuff, and Onyx came back, and we were going to do that. Which is why I helped you guys with Pack, and I helped with Ambulance, and I did non-stop runs, and I included CMP in everything Panzer did. The events, the ability points, like the the market, like everything. We were basically a 1,300 man clan, if you remember. So yeah, so that was the plan. And I have always wanted to be competitive. And with everything that Squiddy did for our community over in V, with the way that I felt we were treated, which wasn't the greatest, but she was so kind to everybody that we had such a great friendship. I actually asked her. Her clan's actually Osh only, but she decided to make an exception. So yeah.
It works out because he's on oceanic times anyway. You know, not the worst that could happen.
To answer Longborn, it's not always gonna stay like that. They did announce the return of the dark sectors. I know we're competitive clan only in name only at the moment, but we do still keep ourselves prepared for whenever DA releases something that's even mildly competitive. We still want to be number one.
And also, when it comes down to permissions and power, I have no accounts in any clans. No accounts in any of the alliances. Unless Squiddy has me in one to go recruit a few clans in our newest branches. Other than that, I don't touch them. My thing is after Ice, I was done. That was it. Like that final decision that I had to make, it was a lose-lose situation no matter how I went about it. And in the end, the way I went was the way I went. I was done. Like 100% done. The only reason I jumped into V was because I was begged and because I wanted to honor Schizo's request to do the best that I can and maintain friendships on our community's behalf. And Skitz is more than welcome to confirm or deny that that was the one thing he asked me to do.
And you did so excellently. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blue, I have a question. Oh wait, sorry.
No, I was just confirming it, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is basically with you, Blue, when you said that you made the decision to leave Panzerfrost, when you said it was done, basically you said this is you starting off the clean slate here now, right? That's basically what you're saying, right?
Well, personally, I don't think a clean slate's gonna ever be in the cards, no matter how I go about it. But
well, not like that, but like a fresh start.
Yeah, in that sense, yes. It was always meant to be a fresh start. It was a change from community to competitive, and for many of the CM members that were in ICE back then on TeamSpeak, in PAC, in Ambulance, they seen me. They know I was there. Like I loved competitive events. Like loved it. I absolutely loved placing in the top 4 with CMP. I loved it with me, Cross, and Ace in one of the groups. It was one of the funnest times I've ever had in the game. So for me to switch into competitive full blown was an inevitability, and it was something that was already guaranteed that we were going to do. So it was more of a matter of when I felt Panzer didn't need me anymore, and when I brought Panzer back from where it was supposed to be. Oh, don't remind me of that piece. Oh my god. Listen, I'll have you know, we were ahead of Quasars for days. That's all I'm gonna say. Panzer was ahead of Quasars for days. Yep.
Bye, Schizo.
Bye, Skits.
Bye, Skits.
Take care. And thank you for answering my question.
Yep. Sorry, I gotta leave, guys. Y'all hit me up. Y'all need anything, though.
Will do.
Peace.
Bye. God bless. I love Schizo. He's so nice.
Hopefully I'll be able to get to know him better later.
Okay. Because I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's gonna be talked in private later." It's basically whatever you mentioned that's gonna be talked in private. It can be talked over between you guys from Gilded Phoenix. But as far as the Crescent Moon Alliance stands, we will not allow another founding clan to be in the permissions above us, in-game. As far as Discord is concerned, we will be under your permissions, because we're using your Discord, mingling with your community, using your name, and everything related to that. But as far as in-game goes, we were already burned 2 times. Once was the old Crescent Moon. Blue knows the history of that. And the second time is this with Ice. So as far as old Crescent Moon members go, there is no actual way to have anybody else besides our world on the top of the permissions in-game. It's up to you guys to decide if you are going to retract your proposal of a merger. We won't get mad by it. It's fine. We would understand. Everything is fine. It's just that we will never agree to having any kind of ghost clan, any kind of phantom clan in the position of being able to manage our own clan in our own alliance.
I understand that, and I respect that. We have been burnt several times already by making trust bonds with clans, and I'm sure you guys can respect that, having been there in the past as well.
Yes, exactly.
So we're both on the same page here. It's not negotiable, but I am to give all of CMP warlords warlord in the founding clan as well, if that would ease your mind.
To clarify, that would give you the full powers to kick clans, remove clans, add clans, and do everything.
That's for every warlord, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only difference
Any warlord
is
who wanted it, I'm more than happy to, in the founding clan, give them warlord power in the little founding ghost clan alongside me. If that would make you guys feel more comfortable and ease your minds, I'm 150% okay with that. And I think there was a bit of a misunderstanding, Blue, when you spoke to Crusader earlier.
in regards
about
to
this.
that.
Yes, in regards to the Mother Base clan. So
Yeah.
to make it clear for everyone in here, for you guys to be joining us, there would be the Mother Base clan who found the alliance, and Crescent Moon Prime coming into that alliance that's been founded by one of my alts. I am more than happy for all warlords who want it to have an alt account in that Mother Base clan as warlord as well. As long as I have the security of knowing that I have founding over the alliance, I'm perfectly fine with other warlords having warlord rank in that Mother Base.
Mm-hmm. And to add on to that, it's also for the matter of perception and everything on our end, as we do have over 100 clans in the Alliance through 21,000 players. That is 6 branches that were all recruited by us, and clans that came in. So for us to give an entire branch away for the 3rd time causes much... it causes an awful lot of issues on our end, because clans start to wonder, like, hey, well, we're 2 moon clans as well, why don't we get this? And it's very hard to explain that. Whereas if we just decide to say, we brokered a deal with people that we've known for years, we're all on the same page, they're in the Mother Base clan with us, it's fine. They can choose which clans come into their alliance. If they want us to just recruit for them, we'll do that. We'll fill the alliance up for them, and they can kick clans as they choose. However you guys wanted to go about that. But it's the only way that...
As far as that part goes, since, like I said, we will not allow anybody to have any sort of possibility of kicking any clan from our alliance. We will not be taking clans that come directly to the Gilded Phoenix. We will still be recruiting on on our own with our own recruiters. So in that case, we don't want to be called upon poaching members from Gilded Phoenix. And we will not be taking any branches literally from the Gilded Phoenix. We will be just renaming our alliance into the Gilded Phoenix branch. So as far as the resources stand for Gilded Phoenix, you will not have a possibility of us in any way damaging you. But from our standpoint, even if I was say founding member, founding warlord of the Ghost Clan, that is a founding clan of the Alliance, even then there is a possibility of let's say hypothetically, Squiddy gives her account for safekeeping or for whatever reason, or even she herself decides to go ahead and kick some clans from our alliance without any discussions with our warlords, with our generals, or anybody from Crescent Moon Prime. And this is the main concern of everybody in the Crescent Moon Prime. So, as you said, it's not negotiable. I'm also saying, from our side, it's also non-negotiable.
And I can respect that. And
Kato and Ghost are not here because it's bad for their time zone. But we did agree upon this, and even officers are gonna agree upon this as well.
I can respect that and I can understand that, but this is something we've been burnt on a lot, and we've given as much compromise as we can. So if you guys would honestly like to turn this down based on the possibility that I may one day leave the game, that's entirely your choice, and I respect that. We've given as much compromise and push as we're willing to give without putting ourselves in the fire again, but that's your choice.
I also want to add story time of our own. You know, like I have my deep concerns about Crescent Moon joining our alliance to begin with.
And we understand why you guys are concerned, but what you guys fail to understand or remember
is that a long time ago, when we made Eclipse with Crescent or CM True and Crescent Moon Original,
everything was smooth sailing.
Until Crescent Moon's leader, True, had to leave due to real-life circumstances and gave the alliance over to Chips.
Who decided not to listen to anybody.
Who decided he didn't want to be alliance leader to begin with, and then gave it to Phoebe.
Who also decided not to listen to us, despite True telling them to listen to our advice.
And Phoebe was a very difficult warlord to work with,
which led to the destruction of Eclipse. So
which led to us leaving, which led to the destruction of Eclipse,
which ultimately lies in the fault of the founding leading warlord of Crescent Moon.
And also when we were fast forwarding into Ice, after Invictus, Coup de Grace, and Eximus Tenno, the Ice founders created Ice, and after the rails were done and Crescent Moon Prime joined Ice, you know, and after myself and Neil took a long break from warfare. Oh, the other person is Neil Darksider, my co-warlord and co-founder of Gilded Phoenix and all the other alliances. We've been a team since the beginning. Anyways, so after the rails were over and after Neil, myself took a very long break.
But we were always available via Steam, via Discord, via TeamSpeak.
Schizo can confirm we've always said that we were available. We found that Porsche,
the warlord of Crescent Moon Prime, your leader,
us kicked from the alliance
that we created
and kicked our account from our mother clan. That Schizo was the founding warlord.
So when you guys say that you don't trust us or you're worried about us, history has a way of showing that it was the warlord of Crescent Moon and Crescent Moon Prime that caused those two alliances to fall apart. So we just want to make sure that's completely clear.
Exactly. That's why I'm so much concerned, because on both occasions you mentioned, both Phoebe, I was working under Phoebe. I was a officer at the time of breaking of Crescent Moon. I was there. I mean, I'm 5 years in Crescent Moon. I became warlord relatively recently, but I was always looking, always working only for Crescent Moon. And just like you said, just as you are worried that the Crescent Moon will disband or do anything regarding the Gilded Phoenix, I'm also as equally concerned the other way around. That is why I don't want any of the warlords of Crescent Moon to be warlords in the Gilded Phoenix Mother Alliance. So there will be no possibility of me or somebody who hacks my account or some other warlord from Crescent Moon to in any way harm Gilded Phoenix. Basically, and most importantly, I was under the impression that we want to join the communities together. But as far as in-game standards go, I want to keep them completely separated. So no warlords from Crescent Moon Prime will be ever allowed in any position in-game to affect any of the other clans for Gilded Phoenix. And that also stands for vice versa.
Yes, I just want you to understand our point of view too, because we've been burned by Crescent Moon quite a bit. Us personally, not Squiddy, but us personally and our clan. And so we have our reservations and our worry. And the reason to answer one of the questions is why would we want to be with a clan we don't trust? A long time ago, we were actually very good friends with Crescent Moon between our clan and yours. Back in the days that True was.
We still have friends over in Crescent Moon as well.
Yeah, and and the reason that we haven't had these talks beforehand is because the Porsche was still a part of your community. So, and us and other ice clans all have our reservations about our opinions about Porsche.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And
this is why I said I want to keep that in-game completely separate. Gilded Phoenix would have full permissions over Discord, full roles. You will be able to kick, ban, assign roles, everything else up till now. I don't even want any warlords. Actually, that's up to you if you will in the future give warlords any permission on Discord. If they, for example, prove to be good at moderating and managing. But as much as I am very lenient of promoting anybody to officers, I actually have problem with staff. People do apply for staff positions, but they're either too new or do not fit the staff role. So I'm very strict upon promotions. I'm not like Porsche. I'm definitely not like Phoebe. And again, there will be no possibility of Crescent Moon ever to be in charge of any Gilded Phoenix parts or alliances that are not under our wing and under our alliance and recruited only by us.
So yeah.
No, we understand why you want to protect what you've built, and we can respect that. But we just want to, explain how history has unfolded.
And we just want to
I know the history. I'm the part of that history for 5 years. I know the history.
Well,
you may
also heard rumors of.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, there's a lot of lag on.
Yeah. We just wanted to make sure we cleared the air because we've also heard that some individuals were spreading rumors about what ICE actually stands for. And for those that have been misinformed or heard some of these rumors, stands for Invictus, Kuruga, Eximus Tenno. The sea
about
and
that,
ice has never stood for Crescent Moon. Period. So, in case you were misinformed, want to make sure that's 100% clear.
Yeah.
I'd interject here something because I'm also part of that history. We became part of ICE because Schizo wanted it that way and kept going to our TeamSpeak day after day after day to convince us to join. Because the majority of us was absolutely against it and only Porsche was for it. Just another tip of history.
Like the Wolf said, it's actually, you can see how this is a kind of a repeat of history and why everybody from the old Crescent Moon members is a bit on the edge of joining Gilded Phoenix, especially if they find out there's another possibility of drama happening again, which would have to force us to reform again in game or do whatever. Frankly, if you have even if you have world founding member permissions of the Alliance of Gilded Phoenix of the branch, even then the CMP can just pick up its 1,000 members, and the other clans will probably follow like they did up before. I mean, you also have to know after the ice broke, a lot of clans wanted to join CMP in the Alliance, but we did not allow it. So they went on, if you know, that's the Archangel Syndicate. The Archangel Syndicate actually wanted to join CMP, but at that moment we wanted a break from alliances. Our members did not want to join any other alliance, and this alliance talk came much later after the ice breaking. So from the standpoint of the CMP, I can pretty much say everybody's a bit tired of the coups and the everything that happened. And I understand your point. I know also, I know the history that the Crescent Moon warlord, basically Phoebe, was mostly responsible for breaking off the alliance, but Phoebe was also responsible for breaking the old Crescent Moon. I mean, we still have our old Crescent Moon dojo, our old accomplishments, everything that the members, not the warlords, everything that the members of Crescent Moon have worked up, have built, is completely locked behind somebody else holding the account to the whole clan.
That's why we also know what one member can inflict on our community, because Phoebe was the only one destroying our clan, and he managed to get full control and evict all other leadership members out of our old clan, so we had to build a new one. So we're very wary of that.
Yeah, exactly. So as much as you were damaged by Phoebe and his act as a warlord, it's the same thing that happened with the Crescent Moon. So I don't agree on some of the Porsche's decisions, and from my point of view, I'm running the clan completely differently. As I said, everything will be transparent. Everything will be available to public. There was a lot of things that the Crescent Moon members did not know upon the decisions of Porsche and Texas and the other leaderships. They were made public later, after about a year or something. And there you could also see there were some even personal attacks on Phoebe. I don't say he didn't deserve some of those, but I will also say that I would never personally do stuff like that. Like Squiddy said, there's some stuff that you just cannot do as a decent human being. Again, because I'm not, I don't have a founding permissions, neither Disaster, neither Kato, neither Ghost have founding permissions for Crescent Moon Prime. And there's still the possibility of the old warlords returning back and deciding whatever. This is the reason I don't want any of the warlords to have any sort of permissions in the Gilded Phoenix Alliance. But in vice versa, I also do not want anybody from any other clan, from any other alliance, to have any sort of possibility of permissions in-game over the Crescent Moon Prime. So it's not just one way. Don't misunderstand that. It's not just one way. Oh no, you cannot. It's both ways.
I understand that. I also want to add one point. Going, Neo and Ava mentioned the phobia and stuff. What wasn't mentioned was in ICE with what went on from TeamSpeak days, where the CMP warlords convinced and forced Schizo to remove Ring Snow, and then stole the Alliance wholeheartedly and entirely, himself admitting it. I literally have the recording, and of taking it from Frank, followed by him then kicking all of the founding clans and the founding owners outside of the founding clan. Screenshots and videos proven, and gamers more than welcome to comment on that.
Yeah, send me those and I saw them.
Yeah, most of the leaders and old members also saw them, and anybody who actually bothered to read the announcements from Crescent Moon should know that. So, one more thing, I want to clarify. You're constantly mentioning Mother Base. Which Alliance Mother Base are you actually referring to? So we might not be on the same page.
Well, the word Mother Base, what we're talking about is the little ghost clan that's the founding of the Alliance. Rather than saying little ghost clan founding of the Alliance, we just call it a Mother Base because that's where the founding account is.
Wait, I have a screenshot that can help this entire conversation. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
It's basically just the small clan that she puts in to every alliance. Really, that's what it's saying.
Yeah. There's one in every Gilded Phoenix branch.
And that is what I want to avoid.
Yeah, I understand that. That's our one non-negotiable. That's your one non-negotiable. I think we'll wait and see what Blue has on this picture.
It's basically like you guys just said.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure if we can come to an agreement on this, but, from our end, we've been burned by mergers in the past where, the merger branch were holding secret meetings behind our backs. And when they left, they
just leave the whole branch.
They left with the whole branch, and half of their branch was clans that we recruited and put in there to grow their branch. And then we had a whole mess of a headache afterward.
That is what I'm saying. If we join Gilded Phoenix, we will be a completely separate branch. We will not allow your recruiters to recruit clans for our branch. Understand?
No, I get that. We wouldn't want to recruit.
Yeah, this is why, in retrospect, I don't want to allow to having a clan in-game that is able to kick other clans from our alliance in any way, shape, or form. So, from our perspective, my question to you is, how will Crescent Moon Prime damage your community if we recruit on our own and do not use the resources for recruiting from the Gilded Phoenix?
That's not Blue.
I can answer that. So
Okay.
again, it goes back to the other 11 or 12 moon clans inside of our alliance. It goes back to the other 13 or 14 mountain clans and all of the other clans that have asked for their own branches. We have to be able to explain and justify to Obsidian Phoenix, Sapphire Phoenix, Ruby Phoenix, Emerald Phoenix, Amber Phoenix, Bloodstone Phoenix. We have to explain that to every single one of them. And when we did this with Solaris, it didn't work. When we did this with Phoenix Dynasty, it didn't work.
What actually happened with Solaris?
I'll let Squiddy answer that.
To put a long story short, everyone else in leadership, Doom Knight was put up to Alliance leader alongside Paradox. So same level as all of us, equal. She didn't have a mother base clan, she just renamed her alliance. Due to time zone issues, because she is NA and everybody else is on Oceanic schedule, or actually Oceanic, she thought we were never around. We thought she was never around. The reality is we were both just asleep when the other one was awake. And we came to a point where we went, we can't communicate with this. I can't give the credits to Solaris that we were meant to be giving them for future dark sectors if that happened. I had no way of getting in and giving that clan without waiting for her, which is like 5 a.m. my time, etc., etc., etc. And we decided it would be best if Solaris went back to being Solaris.
That doesn't seem like a big issue to me.
It was
honestly, in hindsight, wasn't a huge issue, but at the time, as it was going down, as I'm sure you guys know, everything seems bigger when you're looking at it head on. But the lack of communication and we want to not have the mother base, we want to be the ones without it, was the issue that made us go, well, we can't communicate, we can't really help with Solaris in any way, shape or form, so it's time to say goodbye.
Well, not to mention that if there was any issues with a clan within your branch of the Alliance, we would have to go through you guys every single time, and that wastes a lot of our time, and we wouldn't be able to reprimand and or fix things and or do things as smoothly as we do now. And it wouldn't be
considering
as
that part.
Considering
that part, I can just again remind you, CMP rules are much stricter. We have said here, he can confirm, our rules are crossing over to his clan. If he fails in his clan to reprimand a member who is breaking the rules, or a clan as a whole can get kicked easily. So as far as you wanting to kick a clan for breaking any rules, again, I will remind you, it's much more possible that they will break CMP rules first.
What they're saying is that they cannot take action on their own, but that's exactly our point.
Yes. Also, I want to mention, as you can see, some warlords are not online. We made sure we have active staff upon the 24-hour period. So, also, if you want something done, it's not like before that you have to talk to me about it or all of us together. Even the generals, Only Gamer, Fusion, The Wolf, even the generals have full permission to act upon their own. So if any issue happens inside any of the clans or needs any kind of moderation, you always have somebody online. You will always have somebody online. CMP is a clan that has, yes, we have only 100 members online. Yes, we have only 200 members online. But all of them are over the 24-hour period. You never have a period where we have less than 100 members online in-game, or at least one staff member. We made sure for that, and basically we have from OC time zone, from North American time zone, and I am from European time zone.
Something I also did want to mention, you kind of mentioned the whole fact of not being able to get communication because you're in, Australia and the person in the other clan was in North America. As I kind of mentioned at the start, obviously I'm from the same time zone, the same state as you. That could be a way to try and improve that. Obviously you could go directly to me since we'll be in the same time zone.
Yeah, I get that. That was me explaining why Solaris left. That's
you mentioned you
what
had
happened.
So what's with the other issues that could possibly arise, except miscommunication? Because as far as Crescent Moon Prime is concerned, I keep everybody informed. I keep my warlords informed, generals informed. I keep my officers. Everybody is informed always, all the time. We even have a Discord channel dedicated. It's called Information Hub. Let me give you permissions to read upon that. Just a second.
While you do that, I also want to mention, when we gave these chances, we had to justify to the clans that were there at the time. And then when we brought Bloodstone in, and all of the Phoenix Dynasty clans, we had to justify it again. And after the Solaris going, because we are transparent, we told them what happened. And our guys were pretty upset. It was kind of a 50-50 to bring them in at first anyway. Bloodstone guys were already there. A few weeks later, the same stuff happened in their side, except they were their leadership and warlords that owned that alliance were scamming other people inside the alliance. We've actually got videos on it. So they were off scamming, and they admitted that they were scamming their members and all kinds of other garbage. And as a result, they were running around with Gilded Phoenix's names, and we couldn't do anything about that because they owned the alliance. They did everything, which is part of the issue. And then after that happened, our guys and the warlords collectively asked, no more of that. If Squiddy doesn't have the mother base, then no more. Which is why, on our end, it's kind of a must-have, no matter what the alliance was.
I think
it was such a must-have that even for Obsidian Phoenix, which up until just recently held a solar rail, the last ice solar rail, Squiddy's the mother base clan in there. That's it. Even a solar rail on our end was trusted and given. We've followed through with that entirely on every one of the branches and every one of the clans. And the most I've seen, I'm actually surprised that Squiddy was even willing to negotiate Crusader View going into the founding clan with her. I haven't seen anything further. I understand.
I will not enter. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. I'm just saying that I'm surprised
because I'm requesting that we don't have anything with permissions to be able to mess with our alliance. On the other hand, I cannot request or allow somebody from Crescent Moon having permissions to mess with anything inside the Gilded Phoenix.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. What you're trying to tell us is we're willing to take Gilded Phoenix's emblem, take Gilded Phoenix's name, and the stuff there. We don't take any leadership spots in the alliance. We don't. You guys will do the own recruiting for your guys. You're guaranteeing Porsche won't be inside the alliance, and but you want us to stay outside of that alliance. I understand what you're trying to say. I think everyone on our side does.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. And I understand that you're saying it because you don't want to burn us because Crescent Moon warlords have had that direct linear history of burning us. Whereas flip side, you also don't want to take the chance of us burning you. I get that.
Also, except for that, even myself, I do not want to allow the possibility of my account being in charge of anything else except Crescent Moon, because over the course of past 3 months, I'm having constant hacking attempts on my account. Luckily, my password is changing every month. So, but still, somebody's actively trying to access my account. And it's putting me in an uneasy if I were to say have my account be in charge of anything else other than Crescent Moon Prime. If it comes to the Crescent Moon Prime, I can be sure that Disaster and Kato will be able to act upon it. But as far as going to Gilded Phoenix, I don't want to extend the possibility of that actually happening. And just as I said that, I also don't want the possibility of any other person's account having the ability to do anything over the alliance that Crescent Moon Prime is in.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but given the current circumstances,
as far as because somebody already wrote, it's like hitting 2 brick walls. You will never accept this. We will never accept that. My suggestion now is, as far as Crescent Moon goes, we will be holding a meeting, a public voting session, and I will put options into the votes. One option will be if other members would be willing to allow a founding clan and then join Gilded Phoenix. The second option will be if other members would want us to join, but without a founding clan inside the Crescent Moon Alliance. And the third choice would be no, they don't want to join. And as far as the voting process goes, I have to also inform you, the process of voting in Crescent Moon this time will not be equal from a simple reason that I don't want initiates who do not know history of Crescent Moon to overvote old members. So the count of prime member vote will be 5 times greater than an initiate's vote count. And in retrospect, both generals and warlords votes are going to count 10 times. There's a lot less of us, so we can still get out voted. But from my point of view, I'm pretty sure I will be voting for. I'm okay for joining, but not without another clan in charge. And from your side, you can also. My suggestion is, you have 20,000 members. You can do a public vote and see if others are actually willing to let us into their community. Make sure you explain everything to them openly, like we do in Crescent Moon. Just do it the same we do. Openly ask them, openly put it up for vote. Don't make the votes equal. Give a bigger voting count for the members who are directly involved. For example, like Evangelid and their clans. They should have their votes should be heavier. For example, that's my opinion. So, for example, if 2,000 members of their clan vote for no, it's not going to count as 2,000 votes. It's going to count as maybe 6,000 or more votes, if you know what I mean. Yes, Honamichi, percentage, exactly. And with that, I would like to end the meeting so you can discuss privately what we discussed about here.
I have one thing I'd like to mention before you close it all
Okay.
off. Regardless if this happens or not, we would like to, at the very least, remain cordial and have a friendship between the two of us.
No, that is not in question. As I said to everybody, they are allowed to enter Gilded Phoenix channel, but of course they have to conform your rules on your channel. Some already transferred. I don't know who actually. And as far as your members go, we also have a guest role, so they are allowed on our Discord. So even if a merger doesn't happen, we can still mingle the community if anybody's homesick, if you want to say so. They can visit. They can freely visit CMP Discord. The Discord will not be closed. The only persons that are gonna be banned from Discord are the ones who break CMP rules. Make sure to know that the guests are much stricter under the rules. For example, I did say rules are unbiased, but for the members, you have 3 strikes, you're out. 1 strike is a yellow card, and after that yellow card, you get a red card for any possible other mishap you may have. And even if you don't fix your behavior after the red card, it's an immediate ban from the clan. But as for the tourists and friends of the clan, we cannot track the carding system, so it's an immediate kick from the Discord. Anything to add?
No, I think we summarized that pretty good, accurate.
So
Okay,
is
then.
this the meeting adjourned?
Yes, this will be meeting adjourned. So you take my suggestions, see, Squiddy, personally, see if you are willing to open it up to a public voting to see what's the opinion of every other member of your alliance, as we are doing with ours. Again, I know I'm saying I'm putting it up for vote, but I'm pretty sure the voting process will not go in the favor of us joining with another clan involved. So the voting is still not done. I can be in the wrong, but I'm 99% sure that's not going to be the vote. As for us actually joining the communities, that's another question. I think most of the people up to this point are up for it, so it's possible. But again, even that is under the question until the voting is done. My voting process will be 7 days, as that is our inactivity kick policy. So, members who are not active for 7 days get kicked out of the clan. So as far as that goes, anybody that's active will be able to vote. And if they don't vote, that will be considered that they were sustained from voting. And my question is, you also have 7 days to see on your end. I will update you in real time how the voting process is going in percentage. There you go. So that's all for me.
All right. Well.
No, Hunter. No.
I think that's about everything. I guess we'll see how the vote goes. All right.
Exactly.
Thank you all for taking the time to listen to us and all of this rambling. And thank you to everyone who complimented my voice for reasons I'm still unsure of. Blood sweat.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think that's about it from our side. Blue, Para, Eva?
Yeah, just saying, thank you for having this talk again. We hope you change your minds and you decide to join us. We can promise that we will try to do right, just like with all the other clans. Try to do right by everyone that's there, and we try to do what's best for the community. And hope to see you on the other side.
And
totally.
hope you guys can extend that level of trust to me. If not, I understand. If so, yeah, we'll see what happens. Thank you, guys.
Yep. And you guys are always family to me. I just want to mention that again.
Okay then. I will be deleting this channel, so you can either hop on to any public channels or disconnect or whatever you want to do. So goodbye, guys.
Question
Bye.
before everything here ends.
Someone was talking.
That was Seth.
Again, the public channels will be chaotic because nobody is muted here. Just
then
saying.
go to 2. Fucking go to public 2, man. What the hell?
Tell you, man, everyone's following me. I told you.
Who was that just was asking a question?
It was Seth.
I don't know. I deleted the channel. I'm sorry.
It was
You're
Seth.
fine.
I was
You're
laughing
fine.
my ass off. That was
Don't worry
funny.
about
Madness.
it. That cut off the right.
So what were you
My
trying to say,
question-
Seth?
I have got.
My question was basically people that are not part of the CMP Discord or the game the clan in general. They're able to join the public, surely, correct?
Come again?
People who aren't part of us are still able to join the public, surely, right?
Yeah.
Public channel stuff.
It's public for a reason.
I mean, that's why
yeah,
it's called public.
I was just trying to make sure